Right then, as I've said on the last video, I've had so many people messaging me and asking me about cat meat, so I thought it was worth doing a little video. It's lost its popularity a little bit. Was all the rage at one stage. There's a few venues you can't use it. There's obviously still a lot that you can because people are messaging me, so we will cover it. As always, why would we use cat meat? It's a strange bait really. It's very heavy, it's very attractive to fish, and it does single out some massive fish. Not just for massive fish, I'll be honest. You'd be amazed how many skimmers and tench and eyed and things I've still caught on it. But it is generally for sitting out and catching them big stampfish. I liken it to sort of pace fishing almost. You can have a great big hook bait on and you're selecting fish. So I'd use it anywhere where I'm trying to select some big fish. As covered in the meat video, it's really good where you've been feeding some like meat or something like that, and you want that big standout bait when there's a load of fish there. You can fish really heavy with it. Fish really aren't bothered about line strength with it because it's so heavy. It covers a big hook. It's nailed on the bottom, so you haven't got to worry about fancy shotting. And you can just fish really strong gear, so it's a great rig for making hay when the fish, there's a lot of fish there, and big fish. There's big fish venues like some of the lakes at Decoy. I know someone messaged me, they'd been watching my video and they caught on it and framed at Hallcroft the other day. It's another one, places like that where there's the really big fish and it's allowed. So I'll just look into the rigs. Right, they're both rigs we've already used before, but I can explain a little bit more about them than for cat meat. First of all, the edge, the usual bottom down, usual bulk, 4-inch hook length. It's a size 12 MXC2, really strong hook, the new Matrix ones. 023 to 020, but on both rigs. And the 20 to 22, the orange slip, again on both rigs. Really is look, say it's a rig for you're trying to catch big fish and make hay while the sun shines when they're there. So yeah, no messing around. You can catch an absolute beast. The other rig, again, rig I've covered. It's 414 to 418. Rube cane with the big thick bristle. You're going to want to be leaving all of that out. Again, just a bulk of shot above the hook length. It is a foot hook length. Again, the same hook and line strength. And the reason why I have the foot hook length is simply that bait falls so fast. You're not going to fish it through the water. You're not trying to be nice with it. The float's going to settle straight to there. The float's going to cock. And that foot hook length is going to drop straight below that, and I actually use it like a piece of paper, shot it just touching bottom because I want to be fishing this on a slope ideally, as with all meat fishing. So it's even pulling it just back towards you, so the float stuff, the bristle rides out, where the actual cat meat's going to sink it if not. It makes it really sensitive, but when that goes, you don't miss the bites on that. So they're usually great big things. Covering feeding with it, or covering the cat meat I use first. I haven't actually got any here. I used my last tin at the weekend. Happy Shopper seems to be the best for me. You don't try it like Kashida used to be the favourite. I've used that recently and a few bits do float, which obviously if you're just using it as a hook bait you can just select one that sinks, but if you are going to be feeding a bit, waste of time. And floating baits are obviously banned, so that's no use to it. It's just going to blow out your peg, destroy it. Yeah, flavour wise, I don't think it makes the slightest bit of difference in all honesty. I've used all different ones and I don't think there is a preference. Some people say one's better than the other, but for me it's not. Baits to go with it, a lot of people like feeding corn with it. For me, I prefer pellets, just some 6mm catalysts. And that is it, in all honesty. A tin of cat meat, or on venues where you can feed it like 3 or 4 tins. I'll go into the different ways we can feed it. I do like to give it a good soaking in the catalyst, pellet and particle, just to give it a bit even more attraction. It's a standout bait. Just soak a bit of that in there in your bait tub. Helps it keep it going off as well, because it just covers it. You want a bait tub full of water as well, because it goes everywhere. As anyone knows, it stinks and goes everywhere, so wash your hands in it, otherwise your pole will be coated at the end. Now, I'll talk about the different ways of feeding it. For me, like a decoy, I'm fishing just on that slope. I fish it on a top kit on a decoy, because the slopes where they're old lakes, the fish have worn the shelves away, and it's a really short slope, so I'm fishing it on there. And like I say, top kit, I can just drag it back so it doesn't sink the float anymore. For that, I always start on it. Great big selective bait where the fish have been coming in the edge, and everyone's set up and they've just set that bit further back. You can get a couple there before they move out into the lake. And for that, I literally cup in at the start of the match 2 bits of cat meat and about 10 pellets, and then just regularly throw 2 or 3 pellets over it. Not a lot, because I want that bait to be there. I wouldn't sit on it all day, but where it can score on that line is like later in the day and they're not coming in the edge. Either it's too bright or sunny, the edge isn't right, you got some on both sides, you say you've not got a lot of room, and fishing back on that line can be really good. And all I do then is put a full big cup of 6 mils in, and a good handful of cat meat on the top, tip it in and just leave it, and you'll see an odd bubble or something come up. You'll know when there's one there. Just drop in a piece of cat meat, bang, great. The same down the edge, fishing it just over micros, nice standout bait, not feeding a lot of it. It is really good because it's all the gravy. You don't want to wash the gravy off, because that's the attractive part of it. So yeah, have the gravy there. On a hot sunny day, cover it with water, but if you're going to start feeding a lot, open another tin and just tip it straight out with the gravy into your cup. What can be good, as with me, if it's not going to plan, you can absolutely fill in, like I've seen people feed literally a whole cupful down the edge, a whole tin down the edge in one go, and all that stuff coming off it. I've done it myself where I've been on a bad peg, struggled, and it's got me a section when it just creates so much gunk coming off it that it just brings those odd fishing on a hard day. Don't be afraid to fish just one piece of cat meat on the hook. Like some of the people, there's people around our way that do a lot of it still, and even using 2 or even 3 bits on the hook can work really well. Just push it on a baiting needle, your 2 or 3 bits, hook that on the bottom of your hook. I haven't got it here, shall I just bear with me one sec? Yeah, lucky the tackle box is in here for you. Yeah, if you just push 2 or 3 bits on your baiting needle, so imagine they're on there, hook the bottom of your hook on the needle like that, and just thread them up your line, and then turn the hook sideways and hook it in the bottom like you would do with one piece, and actually have it threaded up your line, like a massive hook bait. But it can be really good for some big fish again, like when I'm fishing meat or something, and there's a lot there and you're getting an odd fat hook out, or you just want to really do the damage when there's loads of fish in the peg. Like 2 or 3 bits sat over the top of that can be a fantastic bait. That does work. The final thing I will say about it, fishing down the edge, we can't, like a lot of my cat meat fishing is decoy, and we're not allowed to do this there, but riddled cat meat can be absolutely devastating. Just get a tin or 2, put it straight on a riddle, push it all through the riddle. Cat meat's really soft, so you can push it straight through really easy with your hand. It just makes this mush with gravy and stinks horrible, but feeding little balls of that in a large toss pot, bit of cat meat on the hook down the edge in the shallow water, makes this lingering cloud. That can be absolutely awesome, and I've caught really well on that at other venues over the years. So definitely bear that one in mind. Again, if you wanted to, you can play around with it, put a bit of ground bait in it, but just loose, to be honest. Maybe a few micros if I was doing that in shallow water, so I was building the peg up regularly, cupping some in. But don't be afraid to feed lots of bait with cat meat. especially if it's harder, or if you're fishing to a feature in deep water, like St Pads or something. Like I'm thinking of Crossdrover venue I used to fish, really big carp, and it was quite a hard venue, and you used to just put a whole cup full of that and some pellets by any like the pads or features, and just wait for one to come over it with a couple of bits on the weren't fishing for many bites, but a lot of the fish are like £15 plus. That was a good way of doing that there, and I'm sure that would work at other venues like that. So that's catmeat meat fishing. It's really simple. There are people that do it a lot still, and they do really well in matches, so it's still just as effective. I just don't think it's an in vogue bait at the moment, should I say, but I always carry a bit with me where it's allowed. I say it can be get you out of jail, or really do the damage bait, so don't be afraid of it. I know it stinks. Let's say keep that tub of water there. It's the best tip I can get with it, and have your towel on the side. Once you've baited up and put some in your pole, wash your hands, towel it off, ship out, otherwise your pole is going to stink and be sticky and everything by the end of the day. So that's the best tip I can give you with that. That's it. I'm going to get some more videos done now for you. I'll put these up now though. And I hope you enjoy it. Anything else you want to know with catmeat or anything else you want covering, just drop me a message. Thanks as always for watching.